Today we're going to answer the question, are there going to be a large number of foreclosures hitting the real estate market? With the rapid change or shift in the market that we've seen in the past year, many people are starting to believe that we're going to see a housing bubble or crash like we saw in 2008. But there are many key differences in what we saw in 2008 versus what we're seeing right now. One of the reasons it isn't the same as last time is because the number of foreclosures are much lower than they were in the housing bubble. Here's a few reasons why there won't be a wave of foreclosures hitting the marketplace. Not as many homeowners are in trouble this time. After the housing crash, 9 million households lost their homes due to foreclosure, short sale, or just giving the home back to the bank. This was due in large part to the relaxed lending standards that allow people to get into mortgages that ultimately they couldn't afford. These lending practices led to a wave of distressed properties that entered the marketplace and caused home values to plummet. But today's revised lending standards have led to more qualified buyers. As a result, fewer homeowners are behind in their mortgage payments. As Maria Walsh, a VP at the Mortgage Bankers Association, says, for the second quarter in a row, the mortgage delinquency rate fell to its lowest level since the MBA's survey began in 1979, declining to 3.45%. Foreclosure starts and loans in the process of foreclosure also dropped in the third quarter to levels below their historical averages. There have been fewer foreclosures over the past couple of years. While you may have seen recent news stories about the number of foreclosures increasing today, context is really important. During the pandemic, many homeowners were able to pause their mortgage payments with a forbearance program. This program gave homeowners an opportunity or extra time to get their finances in order and/or work on a payment plan with their lender. Many people thought the forbearance programs would lead to an onslaught or a wave of foreclosures in the future. But that fear didn't materialize. Data from the New York Fed shows that there are fewer foreclosures happening today than there were before the pandemic. Yes, this means there are more foreclosures than there were last year, when foreclosures were basically halted. But the numbers are much lower than what the housing market sees during typical years like 2017 through 2019. And most importantly, the numbers we're seeing now are far below the numbers that we saw during the housing crash, as indicated in the red bars on the graph. Here's the big takeaway with this. Don't let the headlines in the news media scare you. While foreclosures are up year over year, historical context is important to understanding the full picture. Most homeowners have more than enough equity to sell their homes rather than face foreclosure. Due to the rapid rising home prices over the past couple of years, owners have gained a record amount of equity in their homes. As Ksenia Potapov, economist at First America, says, homeowners have a high level of tappable home equity today, providing a cushion to withstand potential price declines, but also preventing housing distress from turning into a foreclosure. The result will likely be more of a foreclosure trickle than a tsunami. A recent report by Adam Data explains it by going even deeper into the numbers. Only about 215,000 homeowners were facing possible foreclosure in the second quarter of 2022, or just about 0.4% of the 58.2 million outstanding mortgages in the U.S. Of those facing foreclosure, about 195,000 or 91% had at least some equity built up in their homes. If you're seeing reports about the increasing number of foreclosures today, it's really important to keep historical context in mind. While it's true, the number of foreclosures that we're seeing now are higher than what we saw last year, foreclosures are still well below the pre-pandemic levels. If you have any questions about anything we've talked about today, or you'd like to discuss buying or selling a home, please reach out to me. And as always, don't forget to hit like and subscribe. I'm Brandon Pettis. See you in the next video.